Israel, let us turn Israel. Precious Abba Yahweh, which is in the high Shemayim. Kodesh is your mighty name. Your Melkut to come. Your will be done.
Hallelujah.
In earth, Abba Yahweh,
Yes.
as it is in the high Shemayim.
Blessed be the
Give
name
us
of
this
Yahshua.
day our daily lesson.
Hallelujah.
And forgive us our debt, and we forgive
Oh,
our
we
debtors.
praise you,
And lead us not into
Hallelujah.
temptation, but deliver us
Blessed
from
be
evil,
the
Abba
Lamb
Yahweh.
of
For yours is the
Israel.
Melkut, the power,
Hallelujah.
and the honor, Abba Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Forever, Abba Yahweh. So
Forever.
be it, Abba Yahweh.
Let it
May it
be
be
done.
fulfilled in the precious mighty name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Baruch your nation tonight, Abba
Yes,
Yahweh.
Baruch.
And your wisdom go forth, Abba Yahweh.
Yes, speak
To
to your
teach
nation.
your people, Abba Yahweh.
Keep
To
me
show
down.
your people, Abba Yahweh. The true way, Abba Yahweh.
Ah,
To
yes.
show your people, Abba Yahweh.
want
To
to
draw
know.
them back, to stoop, to turn, Abba Yahweh.
Oh,
Bind up every
hallelujah.
spirit to try to come against it this night, Abba Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
In the precious mighty name of Yahshua HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We want to say greetings and the riches of Yah's blessings resting upon the nation of Israel. Wherever you are scattered, may the great riches of Yah rest upon you all. And that blessed assurance. That's why his name is so important, that we hear the name whereby the promises, the dabarim of Yah, the word has come by. It has been the inspiration of his elect, a nation that he has chosen, that he may operate and show the signs of his excellence in that nation, that people that he has chosen by his own predetermined will, his own disposition. He has elected them to carry out his mandate among the nations and the people of the world. So we greet you all in the blessed name of Yahshua HaMashiach and the blessed promises of Almighty Yah in Yahshua, our great King. I do want to continue the teaching that I began some weeks ago concerning how we make the preparation of readiness, getting ready, prepared for the coming of Yahshua HaMashiach. And I've had some of the most intimate conversations with the Abba, Almighty Yah. This past week they have been so intriguing, his voice resoundingly vivid as he spoke by volume of the witness of Yahshua HaMashiach by the pages of Torah. He has spoken to me. He has made known the beauty of the simplicity of what is going to take for us to make it end. I want to ask us all a question before I proceed. If you knew the exact date, the exact time, second, and moment, Yah says unto you, March 17th, 2047, 6 p.m. on that Wednesday evening, 3 seconds past 3:30, you're going to die. Would that make you alter things in your life now? Or I know I would wait until I know the time. So why not just do what I want to do? Get it right. Now, only the sanctimonious ones would say that I would carry out with full throttle this mandate to do everything there is to do to prove that I am a servant of Yah. That's how you, if I may use the term, sanctimonious. Because the arrogance of your pride will say that. You're speaking lies to yourself, full of deceit. If he gave you the exact time, the exact date, the exact moment that you're going to expire, we would think to do things a whole lot different, whether you buy it or not. I asked my Emet Raphael that question on yesterday. Why is it that Yah does not give us the precise day, time, and hour of the coming of YHWH? How do I prepare myself to be ready? What is one of the most valid things that I must have in my life, the tools that I need? With absolute certainty, I will be ready, because we're reminded that 99.5 will not do. We got to go beyond the pale of what we are offering now. We don't offer very much if we're honest with ourselves. If we examine the depths of our integrity, the core of our hearts, we don't really offer very much. We don't present very much. So the question was asked, if you knew the exact day, the exact time, the exact second, the exact moment that you will expire, you will do a whole lot of things that you think here. And you will perform those things because you will say, I got 42 years and counting. I'll wait until the last year to get it right. And for us to say we would not operate that way, we would all operate that way. That's the way you would do it. And that's just a fact. So what is the reason behind him not giving us insight as to the date, the time? I'm going to bring that out with great depths of understanding of wisdom. I have in my possession a list, and I have about 26 pages that through my research of all the men, women that have set dates of the coming of YHWH HaMashiach. Quote, they call him Jesus, Lord, God, unquote. And 99.9% of these individuals are pre-trib rapturists, that there is no trial, no testing to be at Yisrael. 99.9% of them, they are the Anglo-Saxon. There are a few that call themselves Jews. There are few women, but these are men that have made a mark in history. I want to bring an insight to us tonight. They have a mark in history. There's some little silly group or small clientele of people like us. I make a date it's never heard of. But I'm talking about men that reach millions, and they are admired by millions. And yet, in their prophecy of time, these were liars, dubious persons. People still sent millions to them. Mr. Campy, he brought in $68 million a year. He had nearly 50 radio stations. And because he was an Angloid, people bought him. But I want to give us a few, and I'm quite sure that you will recognize these one. And I don't want to do it at the turn of the 21st century. I would have begun at the turn of the 21st. These individuals. Here, let me begin here. In 1901, the Catholic Church made this proclamation, 1901, that Jesus would be coming. The Jehovah's Witnesses, when that time passed, they made and established the date in 1914. John Chivelimwe, a notorious historian in religious teachings, he gave the date and the year of 1915. Song Moon, that have millions following him, well, he did give us a time period from 1917 to 1930. That's what he said. Rudolf Steiner, well, these men, they still didn't know. He gave us 1930, between 1930 and 1939. Now, I'm very much aware of Herbert W. Armstrong because in my initial stage in this walk, I began to read his material. Because everywhere you went, you could find the Herbert W. Armstrong, the plain truth. He identified the Angloids as the true identity of the Hebrew Israelites. He will receive others of different complexion or skin color, but his statement was that the British and the USA, there is where the true Hebrews dwell. And also, he gave the date of 1935. He missed that one. He lived. He gave 1943 that year. He lived. He gave 1972. He missed it. And then he gave 1975. I recall that. And he brought in millions upon millions of dollars. He had these prostituting houses all over the world, and they came for the feast days from everywhere around the world to be with Herbert W. Armstrong. Benjamin Creamy, I recall this, June 21st, 1982. That has passed. It has come and gone. Edgar C. Weisnotz, he predicted the year of 1988. Now with Mr. Campy, the first time, Harold Camping, he predicted September the 6th, 1994. I remember it as vivid as I am sitting here. The gullibility of the people that they gave everything and they just abandoned everything, and there was no coming because he said he miscalculated it. Who doesn't know Jerry Falwell? Liberty Baptist Bible College, his son is the president now. He said between the year 1999 and 2009, his quote, Jesus, unquote, was coming. Well, Jerry Falwell is dead and in hell, and 1999 has passed. These are the men that wholeheartedly swore by the date. It was Ed Dobson. I'm familiar with Mr. Dobson. Timothy Dwight IV, Edgar Casey, and also Isaac Newton. They were all a part of this Trinity broadcast and a part of that cold drum of some of the most vilest, sadistic, devilish, evil people upon the face of the earth. It's a fact. Well, Mr. James Hamstern, April 6, 2000, it has come and it has gone. And the cataclysmic mayhem that was supposed to disturb everything in the year 2000, because there was nothing in the computer mechanism to translate that, because they were not built with that kind of hardware and the software to accommodate it, that the whole financial system was going to fall. I didn't lose 1 ounce of sleep. I didn't pray for that. That has come and gone. So again, Mr. Harold Campy, you all ought to have recalled this. He said May 21st, 2011, he was coming. And I would see, and you would read, the people were warning everyone, bullhorns, and painting their vehicle, vans, and everyone. Mr. Campy was a very renowned individual in the sense that Everybody loved Mr. Campy. They will listen to him. I have listened to him before, but I found his teaching to be full of just frivolous, ignorant flaws. So that didn't come to pass. At that time, he caught flack from the world media. Everybody were on Mr. Campy. So he said, I made a calculation that was wrong. It was not May 21st, but it was October 21st, 2011. Mr. Campy fell. His health fell. He lost everything. The monies stopped coming in from $69, $70 million a year that they had to sell off the stations and all to pay the bills. I know we have time for things to discuss frivolous folly, but these things we don't recall because our minds are so empty in the things that are not even relevant. We don't see it. I will show you in the book what it's going to take. You will know the precise minute, the precise hour, the precise day. You will know. Well, there is Mr. Ronald Winesland. He said September the 29th, May 27th, 2012, September 29th, 2011, May 18, 2013. I do perceive that this is the year of 2017. Am I right? Am I correct? All right. So Mr. Jack Van Eppie, everyone knows Mr. Eppie with his protruding wigs and his false image, wig-wearing man. You know when a man wears a wig, he has to be sick. He has a corrupt image of himself. Mr. Van Eppie, the wig-wearing, little frog looking like the devil's son, he predicted June 2012. That's the date he predicted. Well, we've passed 5 years of that. I will show us why anyone that will tell you that and give you that kind of proclamation, they're sick. There's something evil seething in them. I don't care who it is. September 28th to 2015, Mark Blitz. Mark Blitz. He predicted that it would all be over with. And of course, these people are going to be raptured out. And there wouldn't be no one here to defend the integrity of Yah. And this is their prediction. And so we got Miss Jean Dixon. They've set it up to the future dates now. She is conclusive that 2020, quote, her Jesus is coming to establish his kingdom, unquote. Well, Yahshua's kingdom is already in me. I have the kingdom within. Well, Mr. Frank Keetvay, be sure, he says you're off by 1 year. It's 2021. He's coming. Miss Alice A. Bailey says, hold up. My son will be finishing college then. I want to go to the graduation. No, no, no. The date is 2025. He'll be coming. And Mr. Frank J. Tipler, scholars, all of these, he says, no, I want to see my grandchildren grow up. I want to see their lives flourishing, and they ascertaining the things in life they desire. He's coming by 2057. They all are liars. We know that Hashatan is the father of lies. And the reason, because he was not a dweller of truth. These men can show you nowhere in Torah that it gives an explicit date, time, hour. These are violent, evil children, birthed for hell, and they're going to hell. I wanted to give us that clarification first. You cannot sit down with Mr. Falwell, whereby he could extrapolate from Torah and show you the date, the time, the hour, the moment. Mr. Camping and all of his mathematical formulas, he was off the first time, the second time he was off, and then he extended it about 4 or 5 months. He was off then. And then his health went down to nothing. And the old man died. He died. He died a liar, and one that was false. I want to begin here tonight because it is vitally important that we understand words. We don't understand words. We don't understand sentence formation or syntax, where the verb has to promote the noun, the adjective, the adverb. We don't understand that. And so it is very easily to bewitch a mind that is ignorant and unlearned, because we tend to go by our emotions. We want to prove, first of all, we're nice, and we like everyone, and we abide with everyone, but yet we have no sense of the gravity, the strength, and the power of words. We must make preparation for readiness. We must be ready. The songs that we were singing, you must be ready. They did not know what they were singing. They were just repeating a sound, a lyric, that they had no concept of the vitality of what they were saying, and the person would stand before them could not teach them even what the word ready, readiness, or any of the words implied. Let me define this. First of all, to be ready, it is completely prepared or in fit condition for immediately action or use, duly equipped. And as such, you must train your mind, your body, your heart, your will, that you become strong, you become wise, you become mature, that you're ready at any moment. Nothing surprises you, nothing overtakes you at all. You must be complete or perfect, adjusted or arranged, or for an occasion purpose, willingly, and there must be a quick perception. You must have the ability to determine, to understand, to know, because you have the wisdom of preparation. It is like one training for the Olympics. Nothing impedes that. They know the date of the Olympics. They know it 4 years out. And they train, they prepare with one date in mind. And so when they get there for the challenge, they are fit, they are ready, they are prepared. Makes no difference of the opposition that impose itself upon one. They have prepared mentally, spiritually, in the sense they have served their gods, and they're ready for the battle. They're ready. And so the date of Hamashiach's coming, it is sealed and set in the book. I want you to understand. You don't understand. We don't understand that. That is the word of being ready. And in order, as I said, for someone to be ready, there must be a time of preparation. That's why I asked the question. If you knew the exact date, the exact hour, the exact minute, and the second that passed, that you were going to die, how much commitment would you show Yah unto that time? Because you will have that moment of time that you perceive to make preparation, to get ready, that you will go on into the kingdom fulfillment. It doesn't work that way. There's a reason why he did not give us a date or time. Because in our conditions now, we will be 10 times worse than what we are now. So he set no date, but he commands us to prepare, to make your mind ready. And of all of that, there is one thing that YHWH constituted, that this will not surprise us. We will not be unaware of the time, the hour, the second. We will not. I will prove that by the chronicles of Torah that I will teach. I will begin here in Revelation, Gilead, chapter 3 and verse 2. This is the profound statement that was uttered out of the mouth of YHWH HaMashiach to the 7 assemblies throughout the nation whereby the people of Yah were scattered. He says, first of all, and I want to define the Greekish meaning, also compile that with the Hebraic. I said to my email the other day when we went out, I said, I'm finding that not that I'm attracted to the Greek language, but I'm attracted to definitions and how they fulfill the broad spectrum of things. And I said, I find a definitive in that language that it kind of marvels me, but I will not negate the Hebraic language for that. So for the purpose of everyone saying, quote, that the New Testament was written in Greek, unquote. Well, it was written in the language of our forefathers. And so for that purpose, the Brit Hadassa, the message of the living Torah given unto us, I will, can we turn another one of those things on? You warm? I am warm up here. It's hot up here. Turn that one on if you all don't mind, please. Listen to what it says here in Revelation chapter 3, verse 2. He tells us, and the Greek word is gegroyu. He says, be watchful. Is that what he says? He says, I want you to be watchful. In essence, this is what gegroyu, it is defined like this. It is give strict attention to. Do you understand that? Having your undivided attention, that's what to be watchful. This is what he says unto the assembly of Sardis. He said, I want you to be watchful, to give strict attention to be cautious. You must be active. You must be active in the ways of Yah. You must take heed, diligent heed, through remission, through the remission of our sins, and not in this form of developing and devoted to excuses and reasons why you can't get it done. That is what has been watchful. That you don't give excuses for your wrong, your ways, for your actions, your activities. You don't give excuses for that. I'm quite sure we're not guilty of any of those transgressions that we've given excuses. He says, because of some destructive calamity suddenly overtake you. So these things will not overtake you. They will not have any forbearance upon you. Because you have been watchful, you have observed, you have listened, you have thoroughly digested, you have understood every little staple of that procedure to make sure that whatever comes, as the old folks would say, come hell or high waters, you will not be defeated. It will not bring you down. So he commanded them, be watchful, be watchful. And then he tells them to strengthen, to make strong the things which remains. We know that we are fleshly, we're weak, that's weak. So we must make it strong. We must make the will of our will to be strong. Not to oppose Yah, not to come up with some kind of strange forms of theology that is not based upon what is in the Torah. When someone will tell you a lie so blatant and so callously, without concern that they can call detriment to your nephesh, they don't care for you. Now, you can be gullible and say, I care for them, and I want to do nice by people. But if someone tells you a flat-out lie, without proof and evidence of Torah, that's an evil, sadistic beast. I don't care who it is. He said, you strengthen the things that remain, that are ready. That is melo in the Greek. Look at what ready means, melo now, in the Greek. It says that are ready, things to come and things to care about. Do we care about the coming of Yahshua? That is melo. I will define it in the Hebraic because the Hebraic to me gives a greater impact of what Yah speaks to us. We must strengthen the things that are ready to die. To die. You must give up your will, your purpose, to enjoy the pleasure of the will of Yah, because the will of Yahshua did all it was to please the Abba. Now let us examine our own hearts. Are we doing all that it takes to please Him? Just ask yourself that question. We're not willing to die, Yisrael. We're not willing to do that. So we must strengthen so death is not an offense to me. Death is not frightening to me, because you must always be ready. You must always make yourself ready. You must have the application of that DNA in your mind, that it doesn't take but a little while to recoup and to be ready for the battle. Yahshua says, for I have not found your work perfect before Yah. Now, can I ask us, do we think that our works are perfect before Yah? Do we think that we're in the Tomim or the complete works of Yah, that our hearts are completely committed unto Yah? Just examine your own mind. You don't have to examine me. I don't have to examine you. But just think, are you really ready? Someone sets a date. You think the people that listen to these charlatans, that they were ready in any form and prepared? Their hearts were still set. They made preparation in case he doesn't come. I still got this. I'm going to hold on to that. That's what they did. I'm going to hold on to this. That's what you would do as well. No difference. We would do the same thing. And they held on to this and that. You understand, if they were completely committed, those things would have not meant anything. They didn't believe. They did not believe. They would be like a wayfaring or a vagabond in this life. They will walk because they know the date is sure, is set. But let me proceed a little further. I want to see what Yahshua says here. I want you to understand this in Matthew. Yahshua speaks here in Matthew 24. The whole chapter is very intriguing. I want to extrapolate one verse out of Matthew 24, verse 29. All of these that I showed you and read you, all of these individuals believe in the pre-trib. You're going to get raptured up, and there are going to be an insanity of chaos throughout the land, and he's going to destroy the wicked. They all believe in that. Why would it even trouble me to have a date? If I know that there is no tribulations, no trial, I don't even want no date, because I'm going to be caught up. Even with my melancholy disposition, I'm not going to have to suffer those things. This is the falsehood and lies that they tell people. You haven't heard it like this when I finish. You haven't. So this is what YHWH says in Matthew 24, 29. He uses the words immediately after the tribulation, the Sarah, the great trials of agony and pains. It is known as the Yaakov trouble. It is known as the troubles of Yaakov. That is what it is known as, the heel holder. The troubles of Yaakov. It is meant for the nation of Israel. He has got to put his seal on all things to prove to the demons of darkness and all that the world could offer against his people, that by simple mechanisms they're going to overcome. They have the testimony of YHWH. They keep the mitzvot of Yah. They keep the commandments. And they're going to overcome by that. Why would I be concerned about a date if I'm going to be caught up? It's silly, isn't it? You're not going to be here. So what difference does it make? Immediately after the tribulation of those days, he says, shall the sun turn to darkness. There will be no light of revelation. There will be no truth that shall spread forth in the earth. He says, and the moon or the lesser light shall not give her or the rejoicing, or the light shall not give that. He says, and the stars shall fall from Hashemayim, and the powers of the heaven shall be broken. They shall be shattered. All the powers of the heavens, it's all coming down. Everything. Now, in order for us to understand this, to understand what he says here in 24:29, he tells us that there's a time that is coming. The heavens are going to be shaken. There's going to be great agony upon the earth. To understand that, I want to drop down to verse 42 of the same chapter. He gives them a command of how to make preparation, how to make readiness for that time. And the 42nd verse of chapter 24, this is what I began with, this same words. In Revelation, he commands watch. He commands watch now. Watch. Watch. And he used the word in our forefathers' language. It is safa. Safa. To look out. To look about. To spy. And to keep observation. To keep watch. To observe. To watch closely. And as I said to us Shabbat, we never look up, and to look up. That you guard yourself. You will be the one that Shema. Shema, as you watch out. That is a word that is used in the vernacular of the Hebraic that means to watch. Now let me define Shema in the most graphics of definition. This is Shema. To keep, to guard, keep watch and ward, protect, save life, to keep oneself, to refrain, abstain, properly, to hedge about as with thorns, that nothing touches you. To hedge about as with thorns. In other words, i.e., to guard. to guard with all intensities of one's nefesh, to guard, to protect. You must consistently attend to. How do we attend to ourselves? How do we attend to those mechanisms that must be fortified in us, but by only one way, and that is what Torah speaks unto us, that we must guard, we must protect. We must attend to the word. We must be stewards of the word. We must allow it to shape our minds and our hearts, and not foolish things. We must attend to it, etc. We must beware. We must be circumspect. We must take heed to self. That is what Shema is. Keepers of self. I'm going to give us a vivid understanding of how we will know it's in the book. It says here in Matithia, hallelujah. No, let me finish that. I didn't see this. It is to also, Shema, to mark, to look narrowly. Don't have no other vision. Just like a mule with the frontlets, they can see. They don't see right or left. You must have a narrow perspective. Observe, preserve, reserve, save self. Sure of self, that lay wait for, that it says a watchman. That's important for me to define this categorically as it is defined. And nothing is missing at all, because all that is vital in Torah when you began to search out the depths of things. Yoshua, as Yochanan said there in Revelation, he said, watch. That was the first word that Yoshua said there. It is the same word he says here. I want to show us something. He says in Matithia 24:42, he said, I want you to safar, I want you to watch. Therefore, for you know not what hour your master does come. You notice that these men, they all made dates, but they did not give you the hour. They did not give you the hour. You don't even know what time your master come. He said, but no yada, experience this, that if the owner, being the owner of the Bayat, he's using this mashal, this parable, to give us great depth and wisdom of the time, of his coming, of the preparation, of the readiness, and how to watch. I'm going to prove that in Torah. He said, so if one knew the time, the owner of my house, you know what the thief is going to do. But this, know this, that if the owner of the bed had known in what watch, that's important, what time to watch, the thief would come. If we know how to watch for the thief, and we know who the thief is, it is Hashatan. He's a thief, he's a liar, he's a robber, because he doesn't dwell in Torah. So if you know what time the thief is going to come to rob our hearts of the truth of Yah, you have to be watchful. You have to be diligent. You have to take heed to self. And know who you're hearing and listening to. I don't listen. When I say I don't listen to men, I don't listen to these fools because they're young and immature. Turn that off for the mother. I don't want her to be cold. Turn that one off. That's all right. I'll be all right. He said if he had known what time the thief would come and what watch, what the morning, midday, midnight, he would have been very careful. He says he would have watched. He would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. That's what he said. He would have been careful if he had known the watch. You don't know the watch, your shoe is coming. And that watch consists of more than just an hour, but it consists of days and the very precise second he's going to come. And we will know. I will show you how you will know. You began this preparation. You began this readiness. You must employ in our lives a very watchful observation of what the word of Yah says. And so if you're already watching, you're watching. There is nothing that surprises you at all. Because what are you watching for? For the coming. What are you looking for? For the coming. You got to know the time. You got to know the hour. You got to know the moment that he is going to come. So he commands us to watch. Be in observation. Observe yourself. Make yourself ready. Prepare your mind by pursuing the very mandate of Torah, and you will not be deceived, because he identifies the thief. And we know that Hashatan is a thief. That's what he is. He comes to steal, to rob, and to kill you. He will take from you truth, and you know it's the truth. And he will speak lies to baffle and to befuddle you, which they have no substance at all. Look at what he says. He will not have suffered his house to be broken in. And then he says again, verse 44, therefore, this is his command. He's talking about the great trials of tribulation when he's coming. He said, therefore, look at what he commands us to do. He said, be you also hetoimas. That's Greek, not Hebraic. Hetoimas. He said, be ye also ready. What does that imply? Can I define what hetoimas means? It means prepared. That's what it means. Prepared. And this was captivating. Readiness, that's what it meant. I didn't know it because I don't allow the Greek to massage my heart when it comes to Torah. And this is what captivated me here with this word here. To receive one's coming. So when I saw that, I said, oh my, this. So I discussed that with my Emet as we went out on Tuesday, yesterday, concerning this, how that although I am an ardent dissuader of Greek, but I said to her, I'm looking at things now that, I guess I get older, I don't have nothing to do but study the book. I'm seeing things that are surprising me. Ready, prepared for the coming of one. YHWH never gave us a watch or a clock. It was not done by some kind of mathematical equation, because it's all theorized. Einstein's theory is a theory. It's not an actual, or it has the proven factor. This has the proven factor. Give me the date, the month, the hour, the time. When one goes to the doctor, he doesn't say, come visit. He gives him a precise time. He gives him a precise hour. You may have to wait, but he sees you. And that's the way YHWH, he is our Mapeh. He is the doctor that heals us. He begins here in our minds. That's why you and all of you should press to hear what Yah says. You will press to doctors. You will press everywhere, but you will not press to Yah's house. You will press to get to the doctors and see all of that, but you will not press to Yah's house. And it will take you 4 or 5 hours to get to the doctor, but you won't press for Yah's house. That's a fact. I said to my Emet one day, I've seen people come in churches back then, even in their house, because they were sick, and they will come. They will come in their bedroom slippers. I've seen that. And we think we're going to enter into Yah's kingdom. Let me make it plain, all right? Let me make it true, all right? Let's jump down to chapter 25 of Matithiyah. This is what YHWH commands us. This is the Sefer of YHWH. In essence, this is his authority to instruct us, to guide us, and lead us on the proper path, what we must do. You see, it's not difficult to understand, because those that are not proficient in math, they can never figure out things by the mathematical formulas. Those that do not have the skill set of mathematics, they can't figure that out. How do they understand by the mathematic form? But I have a friend. His name is YHWHSHUA. He has entrusted me with simple truth. But this is what he commands me to do in Matthew 25:13. He used the same words, Gregor, you. He says, watch. Is that what it says in verse 13? He says, watch, therefore. You must watch. Again, the definitive of Gregor, you. It is to be vigilant. It is to be awake. It is to give strict attention to be cautious, to be active, to take heed lest through remission that you fall into some destruction, and be ready for the destructive calamity that will suddenly come and overtake one. That you're ready for that. You're prepared. You have your defense. Everything is set in order. You have the fruit of haruach. You have harvested them. You have weeded your life. You have subtracted things out of your life. You have taken out things whereby your fruit tree is fruitful. The peri is growing. You eat from that. You eat from the joy of Yah being your strength. So he says, watch. Therefore, for you know neither the day. It's either that this book is a formidable lie, or it is the unadulterated truth. I receive the latter. There is no lie in it. These are the men, and those that he loved, and those that he redeemed, and those that walked away from him, and he had to retrieve them. He told them to watch. Watch. You don't even know the day or the hour. This is what he said. Neither when the Son of Man comes. You don't even know. Don't worry about that. Let us set in order those things that will establish his kingdom truth in the heart of man. That's what he said. He said, watch. Why would he not tell us to figure out? To define by mathematical equation. I give you this number, that number, and speak in a marshal and a riddle. That's what a marshal is. It is a profound wisdom that is uttered or spoken by that one that has the power to speak from a wisdom that is far above natural wisdom. And he gives you that to figure it out. He did not even speak a parable here. He was straight and honest. He said, watch. Just watch. Just shema. Guard your mind. Hedge your thoughts about. Don't allow the little evil things to creep in because you let your guard down because you say, I know her or I know him. You allow your guards to be let down for them and you allow them to intrigue you with lies and falsehood. I speak the truth to us. I will prove it from this book. You don't let yourself down like that. You don't let your guards down like that. He says, watch therefore. For you know neither the day nor the hour when the Son of Man comes. Whoever says that they can give you the date, they can figure it out numerically, they are devious devils and a child of hell. I will not touch one like that. I will not embrace one like that. Not me. I will not at all, because that is of hell. That's a child of the darkness and the corruption of this world. To call Yeshua a liar and say, I figured it out. That's what he said. Did he say no man? No man knows. Yada. He hasn't experienced it. He has not been brought to the knowledge of. He said no. And the word lo in my forefathers, Abraham's language, it is lo. It is absolutely no other. There can be no other answer. When Yah says no, like our parents would say, what you don't understand about no. I mean what I said. And yet even in that they will capitulate. Yah doesn't capitulate. He is not going to change anything. He didn't lie. No man knows. No one knows. No one knows the date. No one knows the year. Because the word date, year, and all of them, they have the constitution of the same kind of divinity of Yam. It all really means the same thing. They don't even know Yisrael. And if you say you know the date, I would challenge you. I would challenge you in Torah. Let's debate. They don't know. That's why we must make preparation. And we must be ready. And in order for you to make preparation of readiness, you must be watchful. You must watch your diet, what you allow yourself to digest. You can't be around foolish people all the time and silly stuff that does not promote a healthy conscience of Yah. You can't listen to no one that never opens the book. You know, there are people that call me and they will say, Reak, it's one thing, I appreciate you. That when I ask a question, you say, let's go to the book. I never talk from some opinionated type of concept. I say, no, let's go to the book. And there are those that are listening, they know that. I say, well, where did you get that from? Tell me where you're reading that from. And I will go there, and then I began to break the whole scenario down. I've done that way all of my life. Not by some kind of, I heard or I read a thesis of a man that doesn't even know Yah, don't even love him. It's insane to me. And only you that insane that would take that kind of pursuit. Listen, when is the time that he is coming, or what time is it? Let me direct your attention here to Mark 13:33. And there's a word, I like the way it sounds. It is blipo, it's Greek. I'm simply using the Greek today for this rendition out of the Brit Hadassah. It is called blipo, blip. Just like not a blimp, but a blip, blipo, B-L-E-P-O, blipo. That this is what Hamashiach says here. He says to us, take you heed. Take you heed. This is the application he gives us, all right? This is what blipo, the Greek definitive blipo, what it implies. Yahshua said, take heed to yourself. That's what he says, right? This is what blipo is. To see with the mind's eye. You understand that? That there's a mind that is developed and shaped. You must see not with your physical. You must see with the eye of the Hebraic would say, ayan. Ayan, to see intelligently, to extrapolate with knowledge of matters that surround that issue. And that's it. But blipo, I like the way the word blipo is defined. To see with the mind's eye. We see things with our emotional eyes, with our feeling eyes, but this is to see with the mind's eye of intelligence, of the knowledge of intelligence of Torah, to understand, to discover, to observe, to contemplate. And this is so beautiful here, to weigh carefully all the additiveness of every nature of every matter, to weigh it. To weigh it by Torah, precisely, here a little, there a little, concept here, concept there, precept, to weigh, to be careful, and above all, to examine. That this is what Yahshua says. He says, take heed, the first thing. We must begin to take heed. He says, and watch. Well, I know that there are different expressions of words, even in our own language, but this is something that I was just somewhat mesmerized by. And I was discussing, and I don't talk, I didn't know how I was going to teach this. But I very seldom discuss anything with Emet Rafeh. When she hears it, you hear it. Because of my time is not that I don't have time, I just But when I look at this in its phrase content, he says here, watch. Achrop neo. Achrop. Ach like A-G. Rop like R-O-P-E. Rop neo. It is to be sleepless. That's why he says, watch. I say, don't be one that is foolish, loving to slumber and sleep, and then you find poverty overtaking you. It is to be sleepless. Keep awake. You don't shut down and you watch. You always have the observation. He told us, first of all, to take heed. Secondly, to watch. And then he says, make bala, to fear, to pray earnestly, to intercede, to pray, supplication. Those are the three things that he tells us and commands us. He did not tell us to extrapolate by some scientific formula, something you have retrieved from NASA, some kind of Ethiopic or Egyptology formation of signs and measurement, or the Mayan time calendar. There are many variations of times and calendars in the earth. There's only one true, and it's given by the celestial bodies of the heavens. No, I know it's not 365 days in Yah's year. It's 364 according to Hanukkah. But the moon doesn't change, and the sun doesn't change. And the moon doesn't change, and the sun doesn't change. That's why I know that our calculation of our feast days and observations of things, I know it's right because I spend too much time. He says this, three things. We must take heed. We must watch. We must be sleepless. We must awaken out of the drunkenness and pray. There's a colon there. Why? For you know not when the time is. This is what we must do. We must take heed. We must take heed to ourselves. We must watch, and we must pray. What does that do for us? It makes no difference because we're ready. Just like the 5 wise, they were ready. That was a skill set that they developed by those teachings of Torah, and wise men that were watchmen, that watched for them, and that told them that they had oil in their nire, their lamps, and they took oil with them. They took oil with them. Not only were their vessels full, but they took oil with them. Yisrael. And we need to begin to develop that oil of gladness in our hearts more than anything. We need to be glad when we see each other. We need to be glad to want to see each other. We need to be glad to be around each other. We need to begin to develop that. I'm going to teach on that one day. I don't know where, but I'll get to it. Hallelujah. He said, for you don't even know the time. Now, I want to show us a pattern of this time in the Old Covenant. There's a reason why. It's in Judges chapter 7, verse 19. You know who this is. It is Gideon. It is Gideon when he defeated the Midianites. He didn't have many. He had what Yah commanded him. But Judges shoved him, 7:19. So Gideon, out of 300 men, and the 100 men that were with him, they came on the outside of the camp. In the beginning, listen to this now. They began at the middle watch. What is that? The middle watch is Ashmurah. Ashmurah. Your sure said you don't know the watch all the time. Now look now. He came at the Ashmurah. It was a night, that's what the Torah implies, a night watch. And they had put newly set the watch, and they blew the shofar, and they break the pitchers in their hand. You see, in the darkness of the night, nobody knows, no one prepares for that. That's when the thief begins to come. This world is dark with sin. The hearts of men, they're dark. They have no intelligence or mind to see with the eyes of the mind. They see with their fictitious ways of ignorance. That's what they see. They don't know the way of Yah. They don't even live that. They don't even have the joy of Yah. They don't even have praises in their loins. They don't even lift up Yah. You know that's something sick. You think I will let someone tell me about the ways of Yah, and I've never seen them. They don't even know how to lift their hands and praise Yah and bless Him and clap. No, you can't tell me nothing. I'm not going to allow you to tell me, because I know you're an emotional, ignorant man. Let me move quickly. Now, why did I read that? I read that for this reason. YHWH says that you see Gideon, there were only 300. There was a strategic plan for them to overcome the Midianites. This was the plan of Yah. The YHWH made a statement of the same magnitude of that same word, Ashmurah, in the night season, in the nighttime. We don't know the hour or the time when he's coming. Turn quickly to Matithia, Matthew 25 and 26. And this bridegroom is YHWH. He's coming for his assembly. Matthew 25, 26. It says, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom come. Go ye out to meet them. They're going to be the shofar. The sound is going to resonate. It is not just going to be a shofar, someone blowing like that thing. You understand? His word, as I made the statement in the beginning, I said, Yah has been so intimate. He's talked to me this week. He spoke volume to me out of this book. Does it say midnight there? So that's what that word here in the middle. Watch what I read in Judges, the same word. You see, no one was prepared. The Midianites were not prepared for that. You understand? Because nobody's watching in the nighttime, and nobody watching for him to come in this Ashmurah in the nighttime. They're looking, he's going to come on this date. No, he's not coming on that date. He's not coming in their time. It's not figured out. We must take heed. We must watch. And we must constantly pray. Yisrael. He will not leave you in the darkness. And when the bridegroom comes, he's going to make the sound. You don't have to change your clothing. You don't have to prepare, because you're already ready. You're ready to go in. You're ready to sit down in the feast of the Mighty One. And these fools that have calculated dates, they're all devious and they're evil, surmising individuals. They're trying to make room for their sins. Does it say at midnight, the bridegroom, the sound was made? Come on, how many? It's kind of hard to be awake physically at midnight, isn't it? I'm out about 10. If I get past 10:30, I'm walking. I mean, I've done well. Midnight, I'm worth nothing the next day, because I still awake at the same time. And let me go a little farther. Hallelujah. And Mark 13:35. This is what YHWH says. Mark 13:35, he used the word again. He says, watch. Gregorio, watch. He said, watch you therefore, for you know not when the master of the house come. He may come at the evening time, at midnight, or at the cock crowing. That's twilight, or in the morning. So no man knows. Why did he give us that implication? Because at the dawn of midnight, everyone there careless and they relax, and they make the preparation to indulge into their slumbering. That's why he doesn't tell us. Because if you knew when you were going to die, if Yah gave you the precise day, the precise hour, the precise minute, and the precise second, we can say what we want to. I will press. If I knew that day from this moment, I'm going to press hard. Well, we're not pressing hard now, and you don't know the day you're going to die. You're not pressing hard now, and you don't know the hour you're going to die. You're not pressing hard now, and you don't know the minute you're going to die. You're not just all right, and you don't know the second you're going to die. So we that are superficials and false, we will say, oh yeah, I will do it because we're sanctimonious. You will say, no, I got 35 years, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, and 1 second. Well, I'm going to take it up to 34 years, and I'll give him that 34, 35 year. But I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do all that. That's why he doesn't give you that, because he knows we will be fools. He knows that we will abandon him. He knows that we as a nation, we will run toward our own gods and our own. He knows that. So he's kept, the Father's kept that. He kept that away from the Son and all. And you think he's going to give these nutcases, these damn devils here that don't even honor his name, don't even fear his name. He's going to give these damn bastards the dates. No. He's given no man that. If any man to say that, he's not a man, first of all. Because no ish will say that. We must begin with taking heed. And then we become very watchful. And you know you're watching because you're praying. You're praying. When the Melech came to get Keetvay, when they were in jail, the Melech came at the midnight. And they were praying. And they were praying. And they were praying. And they were praying. They were playing cards. They weren't telling jokes. And they were praying. And they were praying. They didn't have a Torah or writing or the writ. They had it written in their bosom, in their heart, and he quoted and he spoke it. But they were praying. But they were praying. Let me move. We must watch. As YHWHSHUA says in Mark 13:35, you therefore, for you know not when the master of the house comes, at evening, midnight, cocks crowing, the twilight of the night, or in the morning time. You don't know. Yah's precise in this book. And there are things that he has reserved unto him, that when this revelation of YHWHSHUA comes, only those that have taken heed, and those that are watching, and those that are prayerful, and those whose mind are steadfast, those, they will be ready. They will hear the shofar. They're going to hear the watchman, for your king is coming. And they're ready. They don't have to jump up and say, let me change this, put this on, let me get rid of this, let me get rid of the cigarettes, my drunkenness, my lying. They don't have to get up, man. They don't have to say, well, let me make sure there's something left back for the youngers. They don't have to, because they are not attached to anything. There's nothing that they are associated with, that they are attached to. Nothing at all. Nothing but the promises of Almighty Yah. Can I move a little quicker here? I want to show us something. And the reason no man can figure it out by numbers of calculation and days and years. Can I show this is so profound right here? This is what David says here in Tehillim, Psalms 90:4. The fragile state of man can never figure it out. And Yah says this is what David says. For 1,000 years in the sight of Yah is but as ithmul, just like yesterday or the day past. That's what 1,000 years with Yah is like. You must measure from Yah's time. You cannot measure from the time or dispensation of man's numeric terms. He says yesterday is but 1,000 years when it is past. And he says and as a watch the same as Shmurah in the night. Does it say as a watch? That's what 1,000 years is with you. Just a simple watch in the midst of the night. A day is like 1,000 years with Yah, and 1,000 years with Yah is as but one day. You cannot figure it out. That's why all of these religious prostitutes and bombs that I showed you, that's what they are. They are religious prostitutes. They rape the people. They rob them of money. They steal from them. And they live lavishly. And they put back. And they don't give a damn about their Jesus coming. They don't want him to come. They take the monies from the people. They live fat. They live rich. You tell me Jerry Falwell didn't live rich? Mr. Campy, I can say the man had some decency, although he was wrong. He lived in the same house that him and his wife, when they were married, I've seen pictures of Mr. Camping's house. Same house. He never lived. He wore the same old basic shoes and the same old black suits with black neckties and a white shirt. I can say that if I had to testify for any of them, Mr. Campy did live decent. He did not live in some mansion or anything. The man didn't live like that. But I guarantee you, when you look at men like Herbert Armstrong and all these men that flew around in private jets and rented jets to go where they needed to go, that would rent arenas for one of the feasts and spend millions of dollars. I heard one said, you don't know how much we spent on Pesach last year. We spent $1 million. I showed my wife, I said, I guarantee you, for them to rent all that in a city like New York, I said, Raphael, that's not a few $100,000. And I heard the man say, we spent $1 million. I say, that's insane. I would have taken that $1 million and bought a piece of land somewhere, 1,000 acres. I would have told everybody, like the Hasidic Jews, when they celebrate their feast, they have them in London, Moscow, New York, Jersey, LA, every major city. And he pumped it in my satellite. And they all sat there and they could watch and participate. I would have taken that $1 million and I would have bought a piece of land. I would have had the men to fence it in. And I would have bought me a herd of 1,000 sheep. Put 10 or 20 down there. We're going to take care of you. And you living in $1 million houses and you living that way, that's evil. That's evil. And then he's a fat man, overweight, look like a hog, a pig. I'm not going to stop saying that. The Pope Francis said to Donald Trump's wife, what are you feeding him? He looked at him and said, what are you feeding him? So I'm not going to apologize because I said this person is a big fat hog. He looks like a pig. Spend $1 million, I wouldn't do it. I told them, meet in the tabernacles. You'll gather with a little simple meal. We're going to take this $1 million. We're going to buy 500 acres. Can you imagine? You don't even know what 1,000 acres look like. Can you imagine 1,000 acres? Yeah, help us. We must awaken Yisrael. Here in the writings, let me, because I want to finish this. And I'm not going to have time. There's some things I want to get to that. All of this is important. But I want to get to this. I want to continue right there at Lucas, where I was in Mark 13:33. Let me drop back to verse 32 of Mark 13:32. He said, but of the day and the hour knoweth no man. Does it say that? Yes. No man knows. We can't be that gullible that someone can tell us something that contradicts the book. He said that no man knows. No. No, emphatically. That's why Yeshua said it like that. I want to emphasize, no, not the melachim, the messengers, those that watch over the heritage of Yah, which are in the Shemayim. And he says this, neither the Son, but the Abba. Do you tell me someone that is crook-necked, as I am, I'm a crook-neck, I'm feeble, and one that knows no sin even, he doesn't know the date, the time of the hour? Nobody but the Abba. And he's going to give some little weak impulse, some of an individual like me, the date, the time, and tell everyone? That's a lie. He wants us to take heed. He's given us all the instruments to know the hour and the time when he comes. He's given us the instructions to look up. He's given us the instructions to take heed, to watch. He's given us the instructions, Yisrael, to be prayerful. And that's what he said, nobody knows. So when anyone says that, you know that that's a liar. And you run from the presence of a liar. When you find out a man or a woman is a liar, when they lie, you run from their presence. You don't fellowship with them. They're devils. This is what the book says, doesn't it? Emphatically, no, not even the Son knows. That's in the hand of the Father. You see, that's in the hand of the Father because Yeshua tells us that there's an appointment to death. You don't know the date or the hour or the time. You're going to die. You don't know that. Because if we knew it, we were not prepared. Whether we believe it or not, we were not prepared. We were not. You know, I look at that house down there I showed you as you go into Monroe on the right. And you said, well, there's a car there. Well, those cars have been parked like that for a month or better, longer than that. That house, when you're going toward Monroe, they have the beautiful lions out front. There's a lock and chain on the gate. Now, when I'd never met the old man, but Eddie Plowler did work for him and his wife. He said, I'm telling you, preacher, I don't care what I charge him. He pay up like that, $25,000. He was an older man. And I said to my Emet, I would always, Mom, that woman would get on that riding lawnmower. She would keep it pristine. And I said about a month and a half ago, I noticed the grass haven't been mowed. I keep watching it. I said, something isn't right. And it dawned on me. I said, I wonder if they're dead. They're not in some nursery home, because if they were, then, you know, they would sell that and take the funds. They're not there. But there was no preparation. They didn't know they were going to die. And all that they did, big Cadillac on one side, the burgundy white with the vinyl top. I look at it. A white car here, Cadillac that has a back hole over there by the little A-frame. And so they had no time for preparation. That's why you must constantly take heed. Preparation is a process that continues, not just for that moment. Yeshua said, nobody knows. Nobody. Then again, verse 33, he said, you must take heed. And I express the word blipo. And we must, the word blipo in the Greek, we must see with the mind's eye. And we must have the intelligent eye that has been cultivated by Torah. Blipo, we must see with the mind's eye to understand, to discover, observe, to contemplate, wait carefully, because we're constantly examining ourselves. That's what we're doing. He tells us there to take heed, watch, and pray. For you know not when the time is. You don't know when that time is. Now, if I want to show us something in the mix of this, because it's going to take another part for me to finish this, all right? He says here in the next verse, he says, I give you, Mashal, a parable that you may understand. Verse 34, he said, for the Son of Man is a man taking a far journey. He has gone a distance to a place He has left his bay at his house. He has given authority, or his authority, to his servant. We're the servants of Yah. Yes. And every man, he's given us our own work. He's given him his work. Yes. And he commanded the porter, he commands us to what? Watch. He didn't tell us to become proficient at math, ideology. He commanded those that what? He said, watch. Now, this is what I'm telling you. Just watch. Yes. Watch me now. It's almost like a mother teaching the child something. She says, watch me. Watch me. The coach trying to teach. Watch me, son. So, no, look over there. Watch me, watch me. Watch me. He said, just watch. No. He said, watch. Then he says in verse 35, again he emphasized, watch you therefore. Watch. Why? For you know not when the master of the house comes, at evening, or at midnight, or at the cocks crowing, or at twilight, or in the morning. Watch again what he says. He said, unless he comes suddenly and find you sleeping. I've defined words in the Greek aspect and the Hebrew, even the word, what was that? It means to be sleepless, without sleep. You don't even sleep. You understand? I'll remind us on the conclusion of this next week. He says, watch therefore. You don't know when he's coming, unless he comes suddenly. And what I say to you all, this is what he concluded. Just watch. Just watch. Gregorio, to be vigilant, to be awake, to give strict attention to be cautious, active, to take heed through the remission of your silly, stupid, I'm putting that part in, ways that when the sudden destruction of calamity, it will not overtake you. 5 times in Torah, in just this writing here, 5 times I read to us the word watch, take heed. 5 times in this latter part that I'm closing with. And we know that the number 5 means Torah. So when I look at things like that, it means that we have prepared by Torah. We have made preparation. The pattern is set in the first 5 books of the writing of the book. See, 5 times, look at them. I will show you before I close. He says in verse 33, blipo is to watch. He says, take heed, and that's what watching is. He said, take heed there. Then he tells us in that same verse, watch and pray, there's 2. And then he tells us down here in verse 34, watch. That's 3. He tells us again in 35 to watch. And then he tells us in 37 to watch. 5 times. You can't develop that mind and that conscience without the first 5 books of the book. You must begin there because the pattern of everything is there. The pattern of everything else begins in those first 5 books. And so he hides that to the simple and the prideful ones that think they know everything. Yes. That you go back there and just watch and look how my servants, how they watch and how I watch. And you'll find out and you will know. And so in that observation, when the shofar sound, we will know. We will not have to be in doubt. We don't need numbers to tell us when they're coming. Because you know it's a lie. You can't call Yahshua a lie when Yah says there's no man, not even the Malachim, no. And we allow someone to tell us a bogus lie and you know he's lying? Explain that to me. No. You show me verse by verse and explain that. Don't tell me what you think. My opinion doesn't mean nothing. My opinion has no value. And when people say this is my opinion, they're simply implying the word opinion means I'm making assessment and judgment. That's what the word opinion is. So they I don't judge it, that's just my opinion. No, you just judge the fact of the matter. Your opinion is judgment. You have assessed it. You have made your opinion. Well, this is my opinion. Well, you're judging it. Just be honest. I don't mind telling, because I'm spiritual. I judge all things. And I don't let the judgment of any man condemn me, because my heart doesn't condemn me. If my heart condemns me, God's greater than that. Because I speak to you, my friend, tonight, the truth. No man knows. Prepare. Get ready. Watch. Take heed. And pray, my friend. Those that will tell you times and they don't even pray, and they don't know the power of prayer. Because when a man is prayed up, he's right, there's a glow in him. And the daughter of Zion, that she's a prayer warrior, and she pray here. I remember back in the days, those that prayed, we were ignorant, but there was a life about them, and you knew they were praying. You knew that. They tell you, come on, let's go down here. We're going to pray for an hour or two. You can't even get on your knees for an hour. Fat and overweight, all of us. I am. I put it on me. I put the onus on me. I can't. Okay, I put it on me, all right? That's why Pope Francis says to Mr. Trump's wife, what are you feeding him? That's a bold statement. She did just like that. She chuckled. He's like, somebody right here. And we get offended. And his wife, she laughed. That's what the paper said. I said, read this right here. Says she laughed. Ain't no love there with him. Just that it's not even two human beings coexisting. She doesn't love him. She loved money. And well, life. So she had him a boy. The boy just crazy. An old man like that crazy as him. No love there. So when asked me today, what do you think about what happened in Britain? I said, my friend, let's get honest. Let's be real. Britain, these countries of the Angloids, they go and burn up these babies, brown babies and babies. What did you expect? So their babies were killed. What do you think is going to happen? Be not deceived, Yah's not mocked. Whatsoever man sows, you're going to reap that. I ain't killing nobody's baby. Yeah, I say it like that. I ain't killing nobody's baby. I ain't fighting nobody's war. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't letting my son go and fight nobody's war. I ain't letting him do nothing like that. I ain't killing nobody's babies that I don't know. I'm saying in that format of my language. I ain't taking up no gun to defend nothing for this nasty Jezebel of a whore that's rotten, putrefied to the core. And I know it's that way because it makes us all rotten and putrefied and stingy and wicked as hell. I said to my imam the other day, I said, Imam, we were talking. I want to close with this about poverty. And I said, Imam Rafi, I don't have nothing, but I'm happy, Imam. I'm satisfied. I said, you know, China has 1.4 million people. They have cities over there that are ghost town. I'm talking about that will rival the Paris, the New York cities. They have them. Nobody lives there. How do you, when you got 700 million people that live off less than $2 a day, 700 million people live off less than $2 a day. And I said, I've seen the people, things like that. I've seen people, I've seen the actual visual where people in India, that the British created that, what they call the untouchable, the underclass people, to bid all of their work and to work for nothing. I said to her, can you imagine having a job? You're my wife. We're the untouchable. We're walking in the store, going to Trader Joe's. I'm talking to her about this. As I've seen the people that do the kinds of jobs that the untouchable do. They go in down in the sewer and haul out the dung. And where do they take baths? I remember being in Kenya, East Africa. And Kimbani said to me, he said, my brother, I had a friend to go to India. And he said to me, when he comes back, my brother, I know that we are poor here, but they are so desperately poor. He said, you be here, man, and the woman sits down there and defecate right in front of you. And she takes her left hand, no tissue, and wipes that in. Can you imagine that? And you think I'm going to complain when I got toilet tissue to relieve myself? I'm not looking for houses or land, not me. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for cars or fine, well, what do you call a fine suit? I got rags to cover my body. And this beast that we call the president, and those that put him in power, they thought that he's raping them. You say what you want to. He's not going to bring jobs back to you in Ohio. He's not going to open up the coal mines in West Virginia. You poor folks, you're poor. That's it. YHWH said, the poor ye have always. And we're not even poor. They got shacks and they got electricity. And you imagine a people for 300 years just in India, the untouchables cannot get fat. It has baffled the minds of scientists and genealogists. They cannot get fat. And the reason they can't get fat, hear me, let's be sensible. Reason they can't get fat, because of the DNA, the altering or the transition of their genotype. Because the mothers were poor and they couldn't eat, and it transmit from the daddy, the poor daddy, the same DNA. I said, I've seen them people, they go in stores, nobody touch them, they're untouchable. I said, I've seen them go in the stores and they want to buy something, they have to sit over there and they throw it to them. And these are Indians with Indians. These are Indians with Indians. White folks were white folks. They're evil and sadistic too. Black folks with black folks. You rob someone to live in $1 million house, you're not even a human dog. $500,000 house, you and your wicked whole daughter, your fag son, and you boast in their clothing, and what you have, you will go to hell, and you're going to die that way. If I had, I don't want to say that yet, but I will say it. He's not going to give me the command of that, but I'm going to judge the Melachim, and I'm going to judge this earth. You understand? You're not getting by. So when a person does that, rob the poor, rob the women, rape them, and we're so, well, you know, I don't have nothing to do with that. I have a lot to do with it. Because would you want them to rob your daughter and rape your daughter? Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. Rob the people, you take from them, steal from them. You live like a fat hog, a dog, calling yourself 3 or 4 wives. I will say this and I'm gone. I was saying to my Emet last night, I said, I'll tell you what, I know I'm overweight, y'all, but I have a DNA process in my body, nothing changed. I'm just as strong as I was today as I am. It doesn't take me long. So I said to her, I said, maybe, one of you Dowites, Bishop Dow, I said, I want to debate him again. I want to go to his place and debate him. I'm a bad boy. I want to debate him on the number 1, the number 2, and the covenant with Abraham, who commanded him to take a second wife. He didn't even take a wife, he just had a baby by her. And I said, I'll put up a video, but I'm not going to do it. I challenge him, I'll do 1,000 sit-ups, and I can do that. I'm overweight, I know that, but I still can do 1,000 today. I'll go in there right now and give you 500. So I show my Emet how I'm going to do them. She said, that's hard. I know it. And then I got a medicine ball in my chest. I'm going to give him 500 that way, 500 the other way. Now you got to do the same thing. Give it to him. You got to do 1,000 sit-ups. And if you do 1,001, then we won't have a debate. I'm doing that so I can come to your place and debate you there. Sure I am. You tell me the most important thing today to teach the people? Polygyny? Polygyny? In all the countries that practice that, the people are poor and dirty, in poverty? I would love to debate him. Just one more time. Yabaruk, let us stand to our feet. Yabarak you all. Let us turn toward Yerushalayim. In all things we do Barak Arabah. We told that you for the safety of Yisrael, your nation. Your people, watch over us all. Give us all rest tonight. And protect us, heal the sick in Yeshua's name. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yabarak nation. Hallelujah. No, you can't hold it. Go take it. Quit acting silly now. Go take it to Abner. Okay. Go take it back.